Hello my people, Mona see how you dey see as Africa do, you see as they suffer for abroad. You dey see, they look this woman oh. This woman now she dey clean. You see that as they clean, the person wey dey clean for na caregiver oh. Carer wey they call caregiver. As they clean, you see the woman wey dey clean for, the woman who still the woman go tell her say clean more, clean am again, clean am again, clean am again. You see wetin they pass through, wetin African people dey pass through for abroad. Just dey watch. They watch as she dey tell am say clean am again, she go clean am. E no clean, clean am again. You know say these people wey dey abroad you get if you go do care for the house you go mop, you go do everything. E be like say you dey do maid. No be only that one oh, no be only that one oh. Some sef you go iron their, they go bring towel sef, put handkerchief, face hanky, you go iron am, iron their sauce, iron bed spread.
That is crazy. It's crazy and sick. And that's as crazy and sick it may appear, you wonder why are they wearing this sick and crazy mentality? Where does it originated from on planet Earth? This sick and crazy mentality. It originated from the lies of their ancestors. Their ancestor lies to them. It didn't tell them our cultural heritage. Their ancestors didn't tell them how Africa is rich in cultural. It didn't tell them that. It didn't tell them how we are rich in music before they came, how we are rich in dance acts, our tradition, language, and etc. It didn't let them know. Their ancestors didn't tell them truth. You see why they can never be free. They thought that it is we that is in bondage. They are living in denial and lies. Their ancestors didn't tell them about our genetic legacy. They didn't let them know Africa ancestors' legacy that was a threat to them that made them to change the history. They didn't let them know. They didn't let them know all of that. They didn't let them know cultural influence. They didn't let them know, and this is our heritage. They didn't let them know the historical resilience. They didn't let them know. All this the legacy of our African ancestors. They didn't let them know all the genetic contribution. Yes, they didn't let them know. They didn't let them know all of this. But they were all fed with lies. The colonial era left a mark on the political and the economic system of African countries, leading to the challenges such as poverty challenge we are all facing today in Africa, corruption we are all seeing today. They all started from somewhere. And now there's an harvest of all of that. There's an harvest of poverty. There's an harvest of corruption. And they also came with violent conflicts. He attracted to all of this. As an additional to these problems, the historical exploitation of African resources. To exploit our resources. That is why I ask all African leaders to support and to back Ibrahim Traoré, Burkina Faso head of state, to support his agenda in order to rewrite our Africa history. Because this is an Africa history. This is historical problem out here affecting us one way or the other as an African. There's no how you can shy away from this. And one way or the other, these have lasting effects on our development in Africa. Understanding these historical problems is crucial, we all know, for addressing contemporary issues like this and for creating a more equitable and prosperous future for African nations as a whole. This involves acknowledging the complex causes of current predicament and considering the historical context in our efforts to resolve them one by one. There's a need for all African leaders to acknowledge the root cause of our problem as an African. And there's a need for we to retain the uniqueness of our African ancestors' legacy, the legacy of African ancestors, such as historical impact. Our history has an impact on us. We shouldn't just be one-sided, focus on the negative impact of the historical problem. The positive side of it, which we are supposed to shine our strength to, our energy, and to learn from the negative part of it. This historical impact is like the history of Africa and its people has been pivotal in world history, including ancient civilization like Egypt and Mali, which have left a lasting legacy in terms of knowledge, architecture, and governance. That is why we have found out that civilization actually originated from Africa, whether they believe it or not. The legacy like struggle and resilience, this strength, Atlantic slave trade has profound impact. That is why we shouldn't be looking at it in one-sidedly. Positive side of it, the greatest people in our society today and in the world today are the people that have failed, made mistakes, and could be able to learn from it. Nobody that have no history, and we know our history as an Africans is different, and the difference of Africa history make it more unique than any other history in the world. Our difference make us more unique. There's a need for we to look at it this way. There's a need. Despite all of this, our Africa descendants have shown remarkable resilience and have contributed significantly to society, to European to their societies, whether they believe it or whether they wrote it on the history or not. There's a need for we to rewrite our history. We are all saying they were brought the society that our ancestors were forcefully taken to. They contributed significantly to that society they were brought to. In the area of agriculture, they contributed to it. In the area of music, they have contributed to them. In the area of language, that is why especially our African ancestors, our African language, there's a need for we to rewrite and make our children to value our language. The language is beautiful. There's nothing wrong with learning other people's language. There other people's language supposed to be an additional language, not official language. It's very important for we to rewrite our history. And we have rich culture as an Africans. Our culture is our heritage. Cultural heritage, it's called. This Africans' rich cultural heritage is reflected in its diverse languages, traditions, music, dance, arts, and folklore. The continent's influence extends globally through the Africa diaspora, contributing significantly already to the cultural fabric of societies around the world. There's a need for we to acknowledge that. There's a need for we to acknowledge the historical significance. Africa's civilization has long history of state building, trade, and cultural exchange. Empire like Mali,